Good morning, my fellow Americans. Good morning to the world, man. Uh, this is another opportunity to reach out to the rest of the world. Not just the people I see every day, people that knows me, but it's YouTube. Some people have used it to change their lives. Some people used it for many different things, and here I am. I have access to it, and I'm not gonna pout about, like I said, I have like over 70 videos, and I don't have any reach right now, but I'm gonna continue to work, man. It's not easy. Nothing good comes easy. I do have doubts on the type of content I decided to do, but there's some people that record their life as a couple and they blow up. But this is me vlogging as a single man. And by the way, I enjoy that, because some people might see that and they gonna think like, oh man, you need a girl, you miserable. But imagine like you could make it on your own. Now, girls are always there, And by the way, I haven't met that one woman that I wanted to be around all the time. Now, that's not me shitting on the other sex, but it's also me shaking them off. Like, the minute you start doing good for yourself, you got a little bit of resource, people start to question, where's your other half? Well, with someone else in your life, right? Would you really be able to have the same work ethic? Now, some guys could do that, They're married and they have a goal. They want children. So they start working and, working a lot, by the way. And sometimes they even hurt the relationship. Now, I don't know everyone's situation, but as for me, I already test the waters somewhat. And it's me, it's not them, it's me. If I really had a girl that I was really into, especially early on, I'd be distracted as hell. But thankfully, I'm doing it this way. Maybe in the future, you never know, when I have a better habit, something that no one could throw me off of. And at this point, it almost seems like it's not coming, right? And it seems like I'm talking from both sides of my mouth with all this, right? But to focus is to say that, this is where I am right now, a single guy. I mean, if I had girls to talk to, I probably wouldn't be doing this. If I had, if I had an image to uphold, you probably wouldn't hear from me. So I don't, but yet, there's a couple of things that I do know that I have that a woman, a lady, a female would benefit from, right? I work hard, I make money, I travel alone. I'm always driving, A lot of times, a lot of people they take Ubers and stuff. Sometimes they spend a lot of money on Ubers. They always need a ride. And funny thing is, it doesn't matter who they get the ride from. They will inconvenience everyone. But a lot of chicks do drive though, but most chicks don't. But that's not me. That's not a me versus them thing though. I just know that, I take care of myself. Like, I have just enough to get by. And I like that I fly low, no stress, no argument, no mood swings. Now, I admit having a female can be beautiful and wonderful, but I get a couple every time I'm on a trip. part of me, yeah, I wish I had a couple while I'm here too, but my stance is that's just an accident waiting to happen. You know, you have a chick today, y'all having a good time, and you have too much of a good time. There's a baby, and you don't even know if it's gonna work out or not between y'all two. Only thing that keeps y'all together is that baby, you know. But I don't want to scare myself before I even, have the opportunity, because that's how it is sometimes, You don't know something until you know it, and obviously the relationship aspect, marriage, staying together, parenting, I don't know, right? But that's not to say I don't have front row seats to other people's situation. I have a married sister. She has 2 children. I have friends with children. I have cousins who I hung out with all the time between the time they proposed to being married and close to the divorce. So I do have front seats, and throughout the whole thing, it almost felt like I could see the future, when things were taking place, when things went left, so forth and so on. And I say that to say, there's, like I was saying, there's people that's making a living just being a couple and things, but I don't see too much up for The Bachelor. I mean, there's some guys out there, but they're doing something extreme, like living in their car, bikes, or something like that, right? So I'm more of the chill guy, I mentioned the kind of work I do a little bit, and I've lost certain things, and I'm trying to gain experience, gain knowledge, and also share while I go through it. So that might not make it for the biggest YouTube channel where everybody is tuning in and becoming almost a household name. Maybe not. But I do know there's a lot of guys out there that would find this level of content at least thought-provoking. Yeah. So yeah, today's Thursday. I'm off work. It's basically, I can't say the second to last Thursday before my trip. I hate when I start counting down my trip like that, because then, yeah, it comes fast, but then so does the trip itself. That happened to me the beginning of the year. I started counting down my trip like 3 months ahead, and felt long, but then when it came close, it flew by. When the trip passed, it passed by, and then I was just back like, what the hell? So I booked this one 3 weeks ahead, so 2 more weeks. Feels long because I'm thinking about it all the time, but it's really not that long. But I must say, life do feel good when there's a trip that's booked. Right? I'm back down in the city. I gotta make a pit stop at the laundromat. Then after that, I might still take a nap just to get my eyes together. And then I'm gonna hit the streets. Yeah. But overall, I had a good week of work, man. I'm trying to have a good weekend. Driving for what it's worth. And then after that, I'll be back at work doing a thorough job on shift. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. At this point, I'm a little bit tired. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm just trying to get everything inside the house, out of the car, and prepare for what this week has to offer. Money is coming in, but it's going out just as fast. So I couldn't even afford to take a week off, really. And when I do, it's gonna take a toll, because the car, the rental extension, it comes by every week, and yeah, I mean, it's almost, well, last week I paid $400, so it's like $400 a pop. Depends how much charging I do. Sometimes it's $380 something, but yeah. So we're gonna see, man. Definitely gonna go. Sorry, rest my eyes a little bit. I had an okay breakfast, so that's probably why I'm feeling like this. So no more than an hour and a half though, so we're gonna go and do that. Hopefully I don't get caught up in certain things with kids and stuff like that, because my friend who I picked up her daughter for her, for like the past 3 to 4 years now, I had to kind of get out of that, because at one point I was just returning a favor, but eventually with my plans and all, it's almost like it's throwing my schedule off, because it doesn't matter how good of a day I'm having, it hurts to have to go offline when I could have just hit my goal real quick. And the funny thing is, with the dropping off to school and picking up, those are prime hours, and then once you finish doing that, it's only the scraps left. So I can't let myself fall into that again, because I got something good going on, except I like to go somewhere to rest my head, and that's where my debt lies, because once people lay eyes on you, they need a favor. Once they see your life kind of just, you set it up to a point where it's easy going. I mean, I have time available to do what I want when I want, but I choose not to lay around. But when I was doing that, I was actually giving someone a break that didn't really need it. So it was like I didn't have to do it all around, but yet I felt like I was being taken advantage of. Just because I was already doing it, there wasn't like, okay, I got it today because I'm off. So I'm gonna remember that, because a year could make people forget, how bad something was, especially when we're trying to be a good person. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. But all right, I'm about to hit up the laundromat. Apparently the washer machine over there didn't do a good job draining and spinning my covers, so I have to go to the laundry and get that done and dry. And maybe I won't have to wash. Maybe I'll just go straight to drying, really. We'll see. All right, peace.